So today we're gonna be playing with a lot of stuff from Surratt. Surratt Beauty, a brand that, other than me kind of mentioning it here or there, alluding to making a video about it, I don't think I've ever actually used on my channel. I mentioned it and a bunch of people have been in my comments lately, very vocally being like, when are we getting this Surratt video, you know? The thing that held it up was the fact that I bought some stuff from Surratt and then I felt like I was underwhelmed, but not because of necessarily like the brand itself, but more so because I had chosen the wrong products, or maybe like an incomplete array of products. And it being a brand that's been around a long time, that a lot of these products are, you know, legacy products, it meant that I kind of was up against a lot of people in my comments having more experience with the products than I did. That's just not a very helpful way to start a review. So I talked to a couple of my creator friends and I got in contact with the brand and I was like, hey, is there any way that I could get a few more things to kind of round out my review? Y'all, they sent me the biggest box of stuff. So I have so much stuff and I've used it all and I have like preliminary thoughts on it, but as y'all know, I like to do like a good second impressions video and then do like a final thoughts video later. All that to say, I am going to be applying a bunch, like a full face of Surratt today and talking through my thoughts on it so far, but mainly we're just gonna be kind of experiencing this together and coming up with what I think is a very sophisticated face of makeup. So let's go ahead and jump in. Cute. She's all ears. Also, what in the heck? I have like an angry tear duct and it's just made like all the tissue around it very angry as well. I hope I don't have to go to the doctor about it. Like I hope it's just something that goes away on its own. I feel like I bother my doctor too much. I went to the doctor. He told me that I have to do 6 hot compresses a day. But that like there's not really much else I can do about it and I can't put makeup on it. There's a good chance that it's psoriasis because they skipped me on my biologic last month and I get my medicine tomorrow, so maybe it'll get better, but it's really weird. But I don't have like pink eye or anything. It's not, there's nothing like, I don't know, bacterial happening. It's just like pissed off. So yeah, I don't need to go on antibiotics or anything like that. And I don't think that like my brushes are contaminated with anything. It's just mad. And like the skin on the outside is mad and it itches, which just tells me psoriasis. Because psoriasis is cruel and unusual. And the one thing that like I haven't gotten a chance to try yet from them that I really want to is their other foundation, and they didn't like ask me for like foundation shades or anything. So I am going to be using the Dewdrop foundation today. So this is, I'm gonna go through like, you know, scream through the prices at the end, but I got this in the shade 1.5 and it's quite expensive. I think it's over $60. So this is what it is. I think it's an ounce. I will go ahead and lead, right? Not bury the lead, I guess. Lead with my initial impression, and that was just that this is one of the most unnecessarily overcomplicated delivery systems I've ever used in a makeup product, because it's got, I'll show you in a second, but it's got this little rubber button on the back of it and it just makes it so difficult. Like you're like, am I doing this right? Because it's coming out really slowly. Like you're like, surely there's a faster way to do this. There isn't. It's supposed to come out in very small amounts, I guess. And so that's what she does. Still feel like that's needs to get out of the way. There we go. This is the little rubber button. Oh good, my dog is mad that the cat exists again. Fantastic. All their packaging is this midnight blue with like kind of a green shift on the shimmer that's in there, and I have crap on my hands. Like I've got makeup on my hands, so dirtied it up, but it's luxurious feeling, but it's very concise, you know. They're all in these very understated, I guess you would say, sort of packages. The luxury does come across, you know. I think that there's only kind of there's only so much that you can expect with a luxurious feel within the context of a product that is, you know, very minimal in packaging, but I think that they've done a nice thing here with like the appearance of it. But this is, you know, I don't always talk about this, but this is one of probably the most inclusive kind of delivery systems for someone who might have mobility issues. Like I'm thinking of my mom and rheumatoid arthritis. Like even if she were to love this, there's no way she's gonna hold this like this and push this little button down. I mean, it is just ergonomically impossible. Either way, I do want a little bit more. One thing that I have, I don't know, I guess I was a little bit unpleasantly surprised by this stuff because of just like when I get done, I'm like, not super pleased with the coverage or the hydration, you know? And I guess I am kind of stacking everything up against my Chanel Sublimage Laiton because it's, you know, always going to have the perfect amount of coverage and the perfect amount of hydration or whatever. But there are still a lot of affordable products out there that give me like a skin tint finish that's more perfecting than this. It just, God, that looks just awful. It just looks awful. Please ignore that. But my Botox did just kick in, so at least we've got a shiny forehead going on. It was too light for me when I first got it, but now it's about right because I am at my literal palest. So the 1.5 shade is a very good undertone match and actually a very good like level match for me right now. So I also have my SPF on right now and it's pretty dewy, but like my skin is drier than it's been since this time last year. Like it is at its absolute worst right now. So I don't feel any sort of fear of overhydrating my face right now, even if it looks like a dewy, sludgy mess right now. I would rather that be the case because it has just been like a cracked, cratered mess lately. Plus, I don't know if I've harped on this enough or at all on my main channel, but the specialty pharmacy just decided to skip me last month on sending me my biologic. And so my skin is freaking out. If you don't know, I have psoriasis and I've been on a biologic for years and years and years so that I'm not a lizard in real life. And they just decided, like, I ordered it 3 different times and they just decided, no, we're not gonna send it to you. So that's why I'm pretty sure that's why I'm like breaking out everywhere. It's really fun. So anyway, it's pretty, like it is pretty. I'm just kind of like not convinced on what makes it special for the price. It doesn't give you that magic that you get from like a Chantecaille Future Skin or something where you're like, this is different. I get it, this is different. It just kind of, it's pretty, but it reminds me of the Rare Beauty one that's like under $30, I think, or maybe around $30, inflation. It reminds me a little bit of the Glossier one, you know? It's very, very pretty. I just don't know if it's like worth this kind of super crazy price tag to me. So let's go with some concealer so that I feel a little bit more in control of the complexion before we jump into like color cosmetics here. Also, I got a bunch of stuff from Hourglass and this is my first time ever owning an ambient lighting palette. I have to say, y'all, I'm really starting to understand the magic. And I think that, you know, for all the fighting that we all did to try and get them to include deeper skin tones in their ranges, it's all for good reason because everyone deserves to experience these formulas, okay? Like they're pretty ingenious. So let's do some Kosas concealer because if Surratt has a concealer, I don't have it. So we're gonna use 1.5C. I spent the entire night, y'all, the entire night with cough drops in my mouth. Horrible, because I was just coughing so much and I felt bad. I was like gonna wake up the whole house. And so I just kept waking up and I'd be on the verge of having like a coughing fit and I would just shove a cough drop in my mouth and fall back asleep. Horrible. And like the night before I had like managed to find a dose of NyQuil in the cabinet and I took it and like that solved all my problems, but I did not have any more. And so like last night I was like, I'll be fine. I was not fine. And I'm still not fine. Okay, I'm gonna use my little Beauty Pie Pro Angled Concealer brush here. Tom messaged me last night and they were like, I think we might be the same person because my voice is starting to go too. Like, it's crazy. I was watching their video on, Hope Miss Tom did an entire series. They tend to do these deep dives on brands that last an entire week, you know? And they did one on Charlotte Tilbury, and this past one was on Victoria Beckham Beauty. And Tom and I have very similar taste in what appeals to us about makeup. We're very like, I don't have really much explanation for being a luxury beauty lover other than I just like the luxury of it, you know? It's like, I can't really make any excuses for it that like translate across the board or attempt to convince you to be a luxury beauty lover if you're not. It's just what appeals to me. And so we tend to be drawn to the same things. And then watching their final thoughts video on all of those products, I was like, yep. I agree on every single thing. And I realized like across the board, Tom is probably the person that I agree with the most. Like we tend to have the exact same feelings on products as in like take it or leave it or is this special or is this unremarkable kind of thing. I find myself so like 99% of the time with Tom's videos just nodding along and being like, yep, Yep, that's how I feel about that. And therefore, it's nice to, you know, watch their content and be like, not only do I enjoy you, because I do enjoy them, but also I can really trust their recommendations because I feel like we have such similar wants and needs, which is fascinating. I don't know, I think that that's fascinating. It's really just a taste level thing. I mean, you can look at us and say that those are very different people. Okay, I feel a lot better having covered up that nonsense. It is amazing how makeup can help your mental health just by covering up some zits. Like, I felt self-conscious getting on camera for like my Instagram stories over the weekend just because I have these like glaring pimples. And my husband even, I was like, this really hurts. He goes, well, yeah, there's 3 of them. And I was like, thanks for counting my zits. Like, what? There's not, to my knowledge, like a bronzer. We're gonna start with the blushes because I think that these are really fascinating. So they sent me, I'll swatch these for you real quick. They sent me maybe all of the shades of the Artistique liquid blush. And I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance because my pronunciation of the French language is atrocious. I grew up hearing Spanish spoken in my house, and so I have an immaculate Spanish speaking accent. Woo! Oh my God, that just jumped out of the little squishy thing. It went kapoo. Okay, so I was one swatch. But yeah, French, I have absolutely no frame of reference for other than, you know, hearing people speak it now, but like my mouth doesn't do it. So anyway, that's one swatch. Ooh. Forgive me if I mismatch these, y'all, because it's kind of hard to tell once they're sheared out, but I think what really matters is that like this is the one that's very different. But this one's called Parfait, or, you know, perfect. And it's a kind of NARS orgasm color. Once you get up close to it, you can see that it does have a gold shift in there. And so it's gonna lean a touch peachy when it's built up, but mainly it's just a shift on the skin that makes it just slightly more apricot-y, but it is a pink base. Whereas the one that I really love is called Cantaloupe, and that is right here. And it's just that perfect peach. Then we have this bright pink called Classique. It's that one right there, and that's how it shears out. Again, I might have them switched. I can't make heads or tails of it, but I think that that's correct. And this is called Barbe a Papa right here. And it's just this like super like unabashed bubblegum pink. The one that I'm gonna use today is that Cantaloupe shade. And it does come with this little sponge tip on it, but it's weird because the sponge is squishy this way, but not so much this way. I don't necessarily think it lends itself to applying straight to the skin as well as something like the Charlotte Tilbury do. If you're unfamiliar with the Charlotte Tilbury matte beauty ones, the matte blush ones or whatever, like this is just, it gets saturated with product and it's squishier, and then you can spread it once it's on the skin. And this, I mean, you can, because it's really sheer. I'll show you, but like you touch it to your skin and it doesn't feel like it's loaded up with product at all. I'm probably gonna end up building up quite a bit of this because it's so sheer. So again, this is Cantaloupe. And at first I put it on and I was like, that's not really like, I don't know, it's not giving me very much. And then I was like, wait a second, that's super beautiful. Plus they're a little bit radiant. They have a touch of like a reflect to them, not a glitter, but a radiance. And they do go down all the way. Like they do dry down. They have their own, like they, oh God, khaki. They're serumy and then they set, you know? And so I feel like if there was any kind of concern that, you know, a liquid and then, you know, they also have powder blushes, like combining those two things, like I feel like it does alleviate those concerns because you're like, it's, you know, basically dried down all the way. But like, that is chill. That is super chill. And I will layer it up a little bit. I'll put some on the back of my hand so I'm not like pushing around all my makeup. But I do kind of feel like if it were me, like I would use that as just a watercolor base. And then I would go in with the Pillow Talk Peach Pop on top, you know? Because it's like I kind of just want more for my money than that, like hypothetically. But it is so pretty. What a pretty color. And it's just a very like natural looking, effortless looking wash, you know, of color. But what this did make me think of, the first thing that it started to kind of, I don't know, plant in my brain was that like, these seem very pale skin friendly, almost exclusively. I just wonder, I know it would probably show up and it probably wouldn't be ashy, but like, would it be impactful on deep skin to the point that, you know, you would be satisfied with what you bought kind of thing, because it just gives so little. It's just such a subtle wash that, I mean, it's pretty. I like it a lot. I do. On me though, at my absolute palest. But look at that. It is just that peachy perfection, isn't it? So we'll go in on my eyes next before we do any bronzer or contour or anything, just to see like how far I want to go. So this was the main reason that I reached out to them, was because I bought a quad. No, I didn't. I bought a 6-pan basically, and I'll show it to you. So I picked these shades myself, and you can see that I basically built myself like a luxury 6-pan, a classic luxury 6-pan, in the sense that they're all kind of the same color, and that's exactly what happens on my skin. And what's subtly different here is that I think there's one color in here that crosses over of the ones that they sent me, and it's just this like beautiful kind of pewter shade right here. But then they knew to choose a warmer taupe, a warmer shimmery brown, and a warmer white. And one of the pans just fell out. That's a lot of fun. Where did it go? Okay, so anyway, they have stickers instead of magnets, and so it's a little bit annoying to press them all the way in. Anyway, I'm gonna use the one that they sent me because it just works flawlessly. And I will have to put the colors that they sent me on the screen because I don't know. Oh wait, I have the little boxes, I can tell you. So I think this is Chocolate Noir, this is Chamois, this one's Ombre, Haute Chocolate, I believe, is this beautiful, perfect golden bedroomized brown that I'm gonna put all over my eyeballs right now. And I would typically use my Hindash color fluid as a base, but I want you to see these, you know, as they perform. So let's go ahead and swatch them first so you can see the finishes, because they're subtle. They're not all the same, but they are very subtle. We're not talking about, you know, any kind of wild shimmers here. But I believe that this one is Ombre, this is Haute Chocolate, this is Chocolate Noir, and this is Chamois. Or Chamois. So yeah, we're gonna start with this one. And like my friend Steph, Beauty Unhyped, she's one of those people who, you know, everything looks good on her. She can wear like a vampy lip and it just looks chill, you know, like must be nice. But she wears Surratt makeup so beautifully, and because it's very, very like understated looking, you know, French girl energy kind of makeup, from the colors to the formulas. So I have concealer on my eyes and it is gripping in a really nice way. I don't feel like it's gonna be dusty regardless, but it feels really easy to control. Look at that color. That, it doesn't have the shimmer that I would typically go for in like a bedroomized color, but that's okay because they did pack me some shimmers in my lunch today. But that is the ideal bedroomized color. Editing Gaggy here, just realizing that it's the exact same color as my hair. Especially like under the lights with the saturation turned up a little bit, which I always do to my videos so that you can see what's going on. But yeah, I thought that might be kind of cool and applicable for people. If you're looking for your bedroomized color, it's probably your hair color. Right? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Is that, you know, super golden brown. Because like, look what it does with my eyes. Look at how it like pulls the gold out of my eyes. And that is the name of the game. So I'm taking a brush here that just, I didn't dip into anything. And I'm gonna use that to spread this. This is a very classic formula to me. Like, it has impact, but you can manipulate it pretty much indefinitely. Even once it's already on the skin. It's not like a, you know, Natasha Denona shadow or something where it just kind of sticks and stamps. Like, you see how I can just keep working it and breaking it up and blurring it? That's valuable information, you know? To just like understand if you're gonna like a formula or not. Because I can always build more. But sometimes when something is really blendable, it also just has a ton of fallout, and I haven't experienced that with these. These are really beautifully balanced shadow formulas. And now that I have the better shades in it, I'm gonna dip my brush in that shade. You know, I feel like I can offer so much more in terms of like a good review, because it's really hard to get past shades not working on me, colors not working on me, to be able to talk about the formula itself, and it's like, okay, now we have both. So I'm gonna take chamois, just work that, kind of blend it around the edges. They really knew what they were doing with, you know, this setup right here. It does really, it looks effortless because it is effortless. You know, I just realized I said that Tom and I tend to agree on everything, but they're like obsessed with the Surratt Dewdrop, and I have to say I'm like a little unimpressed, but I could totally see Tom being like, yeah, no, I get it, you know, that it's maybe not like the most unique thing in the world, but maybe I'll understand over time kind of thing. Please ignore this weird like ripple that's happening on my eye right there. But do you see like the lovely finish that's on those shadows? Like even as they spread out, it's so blurring. You know what that says to me? Kind to maturing skin, kind to mature eyes. Because even with like this nonsense happening right here that I'm the only one probably noticing, it's just the prettiest. Like it's not shimmery, it's just kind of blurred, and I call it like a mineral blur is what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to take a smaller brush now, and I'm gonna work that same one onto my lower lashes here. Not all the way across, just a little underneath. But as far as there being that kind of genre, right, of luxury eyeshadows that tend to just either be for you or not, you know, because it's like, oh, they're all going to look really muted a lot of times, you know, like a Chanel quad or something. I feel like this is the far end of that spectrum where it becomes fun to use. And that's the one thing that I kind of didn't get out of a lot of like the, you know, the Tom Ford quads or the Chanel quads or Guerlain, the Gucci palette. Like what was missing to me, because they were so kind of edited down in a lot of cases, in most cases, what was missing to me was fun. Even if they were easy, they weren't always really fun. And this still has this like gratification factor to it because the formula, like the actual performance of these shimmers, it just looks so darn pretty while you're putting it on that you just like kind of get excited about it, you know? You're like, oh, like I'm achieving something here that I really like, and it makes me want to keep going. And it's kind of the ideal basics quad for me to like go in, you know, on like create any eye look, right? Any smoky eye look, and then go back in with something else and, you know, add excitement on top. But like that's kind of what I'm going for with a quad in a lot of cases. I'm gonna take chamois again and just finish out around here. It is a little darker than my skin, so it's not giving me like a highlight, but that's all right, it's okay. But I'm going to take my brown Haute Chocolate here and work it up, because what tends to happen if I don't is like it looks normal. I always say this, it looks normal when I'm doing like this to me, but then when I look down, do you see the difference? Like how this is like acknowledging this part, and this looks like I have this huge white stripe, and like my eye is really small and sunken in. And so I just am looking for like the ideal balance of light and dark right there that doesn't make me lose that entire surface. And again, we're seeing that really fantastic, just kind sheen that's happening that isn't obscuring any of the work that I've done to try and achieve a believable illusion of depth on the outer corner. It's not that shiny that it's actually like reflecting light, but it just makes everything look a little bit smoother. I want to use all 4 of these shades, and so I'm going to go in with Chocolat Noir, which is the only one out of this quad that I bought for myself, which is hilarious because it's like the one that I would probably use the least. So I'm going to use that to deepen. Woo! She is not kidding around. But fortunately these blend really well. Oh, that's a little bit better. So what I do like about that color though is that it is the coolest toned out of all of them. And so it's actually going to give a believable illusion of depth. So I'm just taking a little bit of Haute Chocolate there and just blurring that edge so that it doesn't look so obvious. But I like to take the brush and just poke it right there on the corner, and it starts to give me the illusion even of an eyeliner, right? It's like the perfect shade to do that with. Okay, so we've lost the blush. And it's not because my skin absorbed it, it's just because the drama on the eyes is very much like overshadowing it. But we have remedies for that we'll get to. But right now, I want to show y'all some of these shimmers that they sent. These are really interesting. So there are two parts. There is a cream on the top that is quite firm. Very, very pretty. I have two of these. And then it slides open like this. And then you have this gorgeous cream. It's not a cream. It's a powder shadow, khaki, but it's a shimmer. And it's got quite a bit of color impact to it. This could be used entire, you know, as its own thing. Like you could just base your whole eye with that brown and just use the shimmer on the lid kind of thing. And then I have this other color combo here. That's this like purple. These are called the Prismatique eyes, and this is in neutral eyes, and this one is style eyes. And this one is kind of a gray lavender. Ooh, this one's a lot silkier. The other one's a lot stiffer. That's the very like cool toned, gorgeous lavender that you could wear on top. Oh my God, is that beautiful. Whew. So yeah, this is why we're gonna be doing like multiple impressions on these, is because there's a lot to be had here, you know? This is not a new brand. So pretty, but we're gonna use neutral eyes. I'm not gonna use the cream because we already have so much going on, but I'm going to use the shimmer. I'm gonna use so little because it has such like opaque impact. It's so beautiful, but what I really like is that it adds the like peachy quality that draws from the cheeks a little bit without it being so like on the nose tonal, but it does kind of unify it. And I'll just blur that a little bit out like that. I'm telling you, I'm barely touching this. I'm not even like scraping my finger in it. And there's so much impact. It's like someone combined the Kaja Beauty Bento Trio formula with like the way that I feel like you can use the Hindash Color Fluid and Boy Tears. The way it just kind of builds, you know? Oh, that's so pretty. I want it underneath too. Do something special. But this is like my everyday special. You know what I mean? Like it's special because it's like, you know, a little bit of drama and a little bit of shimmer. But the colors are so right within my comfort zone. Okay, let's powder a little bit because I am gonna go in with powder blush and I want to just even everything out in terms of like, you know, the way the light's hitting. So I'm gonna grab my Kosas here. I have lost track of Rattly Natalie. Where are you, girl? Hey! It's Rattly Natalie. Welcome back to the show, babes. All right, this is the BK 108, but mine rattles for some reason, so. This is the Kosas Cloud Set in Airy. And again, you see how like we went from reflective to non-reflective. That's all I'm really trying to do here. I keep buying setting powders and I keep having setting powders sent to me and I just keep using the same one. Look at it. Okay, I'm gonna use that on an eyeshadow brush to just clean up in here because I feel like we've lost a little bit of the light, you know? There we go. You know, it just occurred to me, you'll probably want me to swatch the ones that I bought and didn't use because, you know, there are people who look different from me. So you can see the bottom three all look the same. And that's like Chocolat, Noir, and then like the two more that look just like it. And even like, this one's really hard to see. That one is like this white that has this weird purple reflect to it. It's like impossible to see it. But yeah, it doesn't really fit in with like the rest of them. And then these two were like semi-useful, but still pull pretty cool on me. I'll put the names of the shades on the screen, but they're very, very pretty. It's just like they all ended up going a little too neutral cool. I like the one that they sent me way better. It looks so bizarre because I don't have enough on my cheeks. So something that I did buy for myself in my first order was this little blush palette. And this is like a blush palette that, yes, I had to like assemble it when it came, but they sell it like this. So, you know, these three shades are like recommended together. So I have a highlighter and a light and a deep peachy coral color. Those are lousy swatches, but honestly, it's pretty low key. So I'm gonna use Faux Rattly Natalie here because it's actually kind of hard to get your brush in there. I need to use like a small brush, and I'm gonna apply that on top because it's a very similar color to that Cantaloupe shade that I used. But I mean, I feel like we got a long way to go to get some color on these cheeks. I'm gonna use a little bronzer now because I really feel like we need it. I feel like if I just keep blushing to try and achieve the color on my cheeks, I don't know, it's just gonna look wild. So I'm gonna go with my Gucci because the Gucci is quite rosy. I feel like it's not gonna like completely overwhelm what I have going on and like take me into some like faux summertime skin tone. So I'll grab my BK 104 for this and just work back here like that. Big difference. Just one of the absolute prettiest bronzer formulas and bronzer shades ever. And then I wanted to make sure that like I established that for, you know, the comfort of like my eyes, but there is a deeper shade of coral in the little trio that I got, and I'll use that next, just as like a focal point here, kind of here-ish, see? And that's quite a bit more impactful. But the problem with that to me, I mean, I like the way that it looks, but the problem with that to me is like, I would love to be putting a smaller or a larger brush in there to be able to get a more even application because I feel like it's a little bit patchy. But you can mix them together. So that's what I'm doing right now, is taking the lighter one and using that to like blur it out. And you can use the lighter one to kind of, you know, blur that line that can happen between your socket underneath your eye too. Really, really nice to have like two shades of that. So absolutely gorgeous. And these are the colors that I like to wear. I'll take a little highlighter brush. There's one from Rare Beauty. Okay, so I'll take their little highlighter brush and I'm gonna use the one that's in the trio. I'm not much of a highlighter girl, but when in Rome, you know? When in Paris. It's very pretty. I mean, honestly, I would trust Surratt, you know, abstractly to make a really wearable, pretty highlight, even though that's too dark for my skin to be putting it right there because it's gonna look like a little gold mustache. That's charming. Yeah, it's subtle. Gold mustache. I like what we have going here. And they also sent these smoky eye batons. They sent me two of these. We have Canon de Beauté and Fumé Brun. So these are, you know, they can be used, I think, as like eyeshadow base sticks, eyeshadow sticks, whatever, or, you know, smudgy smoky eyeliners. And then they have their little smudger. Wait, they don't have a little smudger on the other side? Am I losing my mind? I saw them use it online. I saw Sophia using this and she had a smudger on the other end. Wait. Ha-ha! Got it, yes. And then there's, oh, I didn't know that. There's actual product on the other end. What? Okay. I did not know that. That is cool. All right, so I thought that it was just a little built-in smudger, but no, there is product in there. And it's on a little wand, and you can use that to smudge it with. Hello, stop focusing on my ear. So that's what the swatches look like. That's the kind of purpley one, which is, again, it's called, I have no gosh darned idea, Canon de Beauté. And then this one is called Fumé Brun, right here. I've only used the eyeliner portion of this so far. So maybe we'll make a big old mess today. Let's find out. I can't explain what makes these so easy to use because they're literally like so much less precise than any eyeliner I own, and yet I'm doing something fantastic with them, I think. And then this shouldn't make any sense at all, right? That I'm just taking this like little powder crayon and shoving it right on top of there, but the thing is it pretty much only sticks to the line you made. So it just kind of like blurs it and deepens it. That is brilliant. How neat is that? Huh. Cause like, I guess that just the little bit of oil that's in the stick makes it sticky, waxy, you know? I guess I'll take that and just sort of go a little bit on the outer here. Really give the smoke of it all. Okay. Okay, French girl. Yeah, I'm starting to see how like Surratt is enabling the French girl in all of us, right? Because it's just going, it's kind of like that story I was telling about Indy Slee's hair, where like my boyfriend in college made me cut his hair with a brush and kitchen scissors because he wanted me to have less control. It's almost like I have less control with these, and so they work better. Okay, because there's like a little bit of like a contrast situation going on here, like too much, I'm going to take that same small brush and just kind of work that deeper shade that's in this palette like into the eyeliner so that we get something that looks a little bit more intentional. You know, like the drama was not something that came on quite so quickly. And when I didn't use the smoky portion of the little crayon, like I didn't pull out the sponge before, I loved just like the look of it as an everyday eyeliner look. It was not a big deal at all. I'm gonna blend a little more of the hot chocolate on there. I'm telling y'all, you know, you watch people online make this stuff look easy. I want to say, like, it's not just that it's easy what I just did with my eyes, it's that is the only look you can really achieve with it. Like, it's going to like shoehorn you into this effortless French girl look. You're not gonna be able to get a super precise line out of it. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you can't over fuss it. It just won't let you. It's pretty cool. So they did not pack me the brow color product. Yep, I'm just gonna stick with that take. No, I didn't get any like pencils or tinted mousses or anything. I have a clear brow gel, so I'm just gonna do my brow pencil with my Make Blade line here in Cool Brown. Mascaras or anything, and I do think that they have a tubing mascara, so I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to try that yet, but I'm gonna put on some regular mascara here, my own tubing mascara. Y'all, I even blew my hair out today. Come on, girl, get back on board. Ooh, I look mean. That gave me like mean eyes, and I'm into it. Don't talk to me. So the other thing that I was really stoked about, the thing that I asked about, right? And I'm waiting on my eyebrows to dry here before I do the clear brow gel, but I asked specifically to try some of their lip products because they're very interesting to me. So they sent 3 and they're all just absolutely gorgeous looking. They have a very similar consistency and delivery system to a lot of the lip cream butter things that we've been seeing a lot of lately, but these have obviously been around longer. The far one closest to me is Fais Soie. Right here, this beautiful pink. And then this kind of mauvey one is called, oh my God, it's called Heaven, but with a E-V-Y-N, like Kevin, like my name. Oh, it's so cute. That's so cute. That's like Kevin Aquan. My name's spelled like Kevin Aquan's Kevin, but it's like Heaven, but like Kevin. Wait, I love that. And then we have Nude de Soleil, which is this one right here, which is the one that I'm gonna wear today because I love it. I love it. I like all of them, but Nude de Soleil is like, it's so pretty. Let me wipe my lip balm off. It's just this perfect wash of a neutral nude on my skin that I can't overdo. Like, I literally cannot overdo it even if I try. What the heck is this stuff? It's amazing. Like this one, this color right here, and the combination of it with the subtlety of the formula. Like, look how plush my lips look. Yeah, you'll pry that from my cold dead hands. So the other thing that I have here, like I said, is this brow gel. This is called a brow gel. This is called, I don't know. It's just a brow gel. It comes with this little brush, little brushy comby thing on one end. It's like a lot softer than you would think. Is very interesting. And I'm just gonna do that. Kind of like that. No idea if this has the stiffness of the actual brush to like groom your brows into place, or if it's just, you know, sticky enough that it's gonna like put them where you put them, stick them where you put them, but you're gonna like have to go in with another spoolie or something, in which case why not just put it on a spoolie? See, because I'm trying. I can get some direction out of it. I can use the little brush to actually groom them. And I can feel it setting, which is cool. I like the brow that gave me. All right, I do feel like I need some contour because we did end up with like a real face on. You know what I mean? Like, I did every step except contour, so it does feel necessary. My favorite contour brush, the Angie Hot and Flashy A507, and my Natasha Denner here. Okay, so I'm feeling my oats right now. This is just such a glam, like a low-key glam kind of face of makeup. I love the colors. I love the colors. They did a really good job picking them out for me. So I'm gonna go on the Surratt website here and tell y'all all the prices. But something about Surratt is that like you can both get a discount when you order things, and then I also, like when you first order, but also I think that they have like pretty good sales every so often. Oh, they sent me an eyelash curler. I forgot to use it. I forgot about that. Sorry, y'all. Oh, and they also sent me a couple of stick highlights that I didn't use. They're fascinating. That one's pretty. That's called Rose Diamante. And then this one is called D'Or. So diamond rose and I want to say, what is that, gold? D'Or. So those are gorgeous. And again, you know, it's going to be a case of like another video, right? I can't fit all this makeup on my face. Like that's the rub, that's the truth. So yeah, then Dewdrop foundation, I said it was over $60. Fam, it's $75, okay? Like that's pretty wild. It's pretty, it did an okay job, but like $75? It's just not that different from anything else that I've ever used. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. If you're one of the people who this is just your ride or die, let me know. Like, it's not wrong, but I mean, how to get the most out of it, what the differentiator is, you know, what makes it special to you. I want to understand. They have so many products. And they did send me a massive brush too. Look at this thing. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ooh, I haven't gotten to use this yet. Pretty. Wow. Ooh. We'll include that at some point. I need to like break her in a little. All right, so you can do these custom palettes. I think it comes out to around $100, something like that, because the Artistique eyeshadows are $22 to $30 depending on the finish. The Grande palette, or Grand, I don't know how to say that in French, palette is $25. That's this before you even get anything in it. And then the Petite palette is $20 before you get anything in it. That's kind of a lot. I mean, I guess you do the 20% off, but you know, that's for your first order. They do a lid lacquer. I did not get my hands on that. That's something that doesn't dry down. Not my thing. Now the Prismatique eyes, these duos right here. Brace yourselves, $58 for that. That's, you know, up there in price with a Tom Ford one. I hope we end up liking it that much, although I didn't end up liking the Tom Ford one, so maybe we'll like it even more because it's a low bar. The Artistique blush is $32, so that is what I have 3 of in here as it came. This blush trio with the highlighter it's like a $121 value, and they have it down here as $94. They have little sets you can buy that do have a discount associated with them because you're kind of buying something already made. Still pricey, but you can get a little bit of a discount there. These Artistique liquid blushes are $45. They have it really built up on the model's skin. I got 3 or 4 shades. I got all 4 of the shades. And yes, the more punchy pinky colors like are going to show up more vividly. I don't have deep skin, so I don't know for sure, and there might be a taste level associated with it too, where it's like you just want something that's such a sheer wash, and I think that could absolutely work, you know, but it is definitely like a one intensity kind of thing. You saw it. It completely disappeared at the hands of my eyeshadow pretty quickly and on my skin. So just be, you know, be aware of that. It could be a case of the reason that I find it to be a little bit like less appealing could be the exact reason you find it more appealing, no matter what your skin tone is. But let me know. I like to know y'all's feedback on that stuff. Oh, they also sent a primer. Darn it. Although I wouldn't have been able to put a primer on my skin today. I had my SPF was like too dewy for that. The Torche Lumiere, which was the highlighter that they sent, is $54. The Lipslique is $34, and you can do little duos with the Lipsliques, but like I'm telling y'all, I would buy Nude de Soleil with my own $34 all day long. It feels really good and it's a really pretty color. The Expressioniste brow pomade that I used is $35. They have tons of brushes. And the Releve lash curler that I didn't get to use is $36. Let's go in order of how I put them on my face. I'm gonna tell you all kind of like my preliminary thoughts on these things. I'll make this brief. I think that the shade match is fantastic for the Dewdrop foundation, but I'm not seeing, I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, it is beautiful, but like for $75, I'm expecting Chanel. You know what I mean? And Chanel just knows how to like wow me with a complexion product by taking 5 years off of my face. And like, this is very, very pretty, but I'm not sure it's $75 worth of pretty. Like, I would far more recommend you know, find a small percentage discount on the Chantecaille Future Skin and go for that, you know, than this. It's beautiful. It really is. It's very pretty. But I just don't feel like it's like, it needs to be performing miracles at that price point, you know? It needs to be doing something remarkable, something noticeably remarkable. The blushes, I feel like I need to hear back from y'all about how these perform on deep skin before I can give any kind of uncaveated review on the liquid blushes, because yeah, it was pretty on my skin, but like I wouldn't have worn it alone. And I am not the absolute, you know, most pale person in the world, but I'm close, okay? And if something is that sheer on me and just so gorgeous, I think that like what Surratt is doing is making makeup that is a little bit foolproof in that sense, where it's like you literally can't put on too much, like even if you tried to, and there's something to be said for that, but I do think that like the differentiation in, or I guess lack of differentiation in the like saturation of the pigments for multiple skin tones leaves me wanting. You know, it does feel like not everybody's included there, and I would want you to be able to enjoy it, you know, if I'm gonna recommend it. But the colors are beautiful. And then the blush trio, this is one that I actually bought. I really like, the main thing I like about this is the colors, because I like being able to have, you know, 2 shades like this. The highlighter is not particularly useful for me, you know, in the state that it comes, like as it comes as a set, because it's a little bit too dark. Like I can use it up here, but I can't use it everywhere because it's darker than my skin. And so it's not working as like a true highlight in that sense. And it's also a very, very small pan size to be able to try and get, you know, a brush in for different kinds of looks other than, you know, being a little bit more precise. And it's still $94. It's still $94. Like, I just feel like 2 blushes this size and a highlight, like Natasha Denona doesn't even have the guts to put a price like that on her blushes. It's just like, it's very, very pretty. I don't know if it's $94. And it bugs me that they're not magnetic, like they're not metal, they use stickers, so you can't just buy the pans and put them in your own. I mean, you could, but they'd be stuck. You have to put your own magnets on the back, which isn't impossible. It's not impossible, but I guess it's like it's not exciting enough for me to tell you like, yeah, even at the price point, like go spend 30 something dollars on this little blush. It's a really, really pretty blush. Don't get me wrong. It really is, and I'm gonna keep using it, and I have been using it. I mean, you can see all the little marks in it and everything because the color is just like the color that I want to wear right now, and the blur on the cheeks is so pretty. But I feel a lot of reservation recommending that someone part with their money for this because it doesn't give me special, you know? It's not giving me something where I just am like, can't wait to reach for that again tomorrow because it made me feel special using it. And I think that like that's the je ne sais quoi, she says in French, of luxury beauty that Tom and I are kind of trying to articulate and never can. It's like, I love luxury beauty and I can't really explain why, but it's mainly that it like makes me feel kind of special while I'm using it. And I'm just not quite getting it. I'm not getting the connection, you know, I'm not getting the spark. Now the eyeshadows, this is like the closest I've gotten to my ideal quad. I just feel absolutely beautiful in this, even before I put the shimmer on top, and it feels like a base that I would want to put under anything. It feels like something that I would wear to a wedding or to an event, or just go into the grocery store or something. You know, it feels very at home on my skin in a way that's like dramatic enough to make me feel beautiful, but not so dramatic that it enters the room before me. And it is really the perfect like temperatures for me. I could have gone a touch lighter on this one because it's a little darker than my skin tone. And I like to be able to use a shade like this to like get myself out of trouble. And I did still end up having to pull out my face powder to do that with. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. And as far as luxury eyeshadow formulas are concerned, like as they go, right? We're not talking about indie beauty shadows where they're going for like that art supply quality, crazy texture, refraction magic on your eyes. We're on an entirely different plane than that. This is practicality, usability, elegance. You know, this is really going for, and I don't mean like that indie beauty shadows can't look elegant. I'm saying that this is like an elegance of concept. They're trying to really distill it down to its, you know, most essentialist parts in that sense. So, you know, the fact that this is like warm and has a soft shimmer to it, but this is cool and is matte, and then this is cool and deep, but not so shimmery that it's going to like throw off your look. It's like all of the little moving parts have been really considered. What they could do better is provide more guidance about their actual shadows when you're putting together your own custom palette, so that other people don't end up doing what I did, putting together a palette that like is more or less unusable just because of the subtleties of the shadows that like I couldn't get my head around using their tool online to pick them out. So at least on my phone, and like, I'm sorry, it should work on your phone. The little eye sticks here, these are sneaky good. These are sneaky good. This is not something that I would ever have conceived of in my own head as something I would like. You know, if someone were to ask me to design my ideal eyeliner, I'm telling you, it would not look like this. But this works so beautifully, and that's what I love, when things make me think differently about how to use makeup, because I ended up with an eyeliner look that is oddly kind of what I'm always chasing down, which is just this soft wing that still looks like my eyelashes are thicker, and it makes my eyes look bigger and wider set, but like you almost don't even see the wing, but it's still effective. It's this funky combination of like a dull crayon and a weird little smudger that's been dipped in some kind of iridescent eyeshadow that only sticks to the eyeliner, and it makes this like smoky line all on its own. And I'm not kidding when I say like, I don't think it would do anything else. I don't think you could get it to do other things. Like that's what it does. That's what it's designed to do. And it's like, all you do is touch it to your eye and it does that. Like I barely tried. And this was just the look that came out of it. So I'm very impressed with these, and also a little bit unnerved. Like I'm a little confused. I'm like, how you did that? And why didn't I think of this? Like, why did I never think that something like this would ever work? Like I was literally all the way in the other direction with like a liquid, because I was like, no pencil ever gives me enough intensity when I blur it out. And this actually gives me enough intensity when I blur it out because it has the little powder that fills in the gaps and sticks to the eyeliner. It seems fussy, but it works. It's flawless. I love it. So I'm gonna have to go in and do one with just the purples next. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. So we'll go in a completely different direction. We'll use like the mauve lip, the purple eyeshadow duo, the purple eyeliner, and just, you know, it'll be all like cool tones. Anyway, speaking of the eyeshadow duos, These are, again, wildly expensive for what they are, but I'm excited to try them as they exist because there is something very like beautifully concise about this. And if it really works as flawlessly as, you know, they're purporting it to, as like a all-in-one eye look, sold. Because I'll be honest, like the ones that I've tried from like the duos that come together, the one from Tom Ford, entirely unimpressed. I don't like that whipped eyeshadow texture. Same thing with the Auric ones. I don't like the whipped texture. I don't like the whipped texture of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize either. I just don't like using that kind of shadow on my eyes. It's not consistent enough. It's really difficult for me to use. And this is a matte cream instead. Although this one looks really dried out, and then the other one was like, you know, it was actually not pulled away from the pan on the inside and it was a lot softer. So I'll use both. I'll report back, but I'm very intrigued by these because it could be a little miracle cube, you know? The brow product is really nice. I want to use it by itself before I give y'all a real assessment on it because I kind of feel like it's just sort of working with the pomade that I already had on. And so it's hard to say whether it would have enough hold to like change the game for somebody. And again, I feel like we're in this realm of like this price bracket of just, these have to be really, really like impressive products to warrant my recommendation for something that, you know, requires somebody to part with that much money. It's just a different headspace. And then the lip colors, let's see. I'm getting a tiny bit of that white thing. That's not my favorite. I do probably have a little bit of concealer on my, or the, you know, the complexion product still on my lips maybe, I'm not sure. But it is doing that. And I'm not super pleased by that. It's not something that's like a total deal breaker to me. But it's just so icky. It takes away, it's so like visually distracting and takes away from the entire look. So yeah, the fact that it was starting to do that is a little again, unnerving for me. So I do want to thank Surratt for sending so much stuff. It was incredibly generous. And like I said, we didn't even get to all of it today for me to try because that is like literally like that kind of generosity is what helps me make useful content on my channel. It allows me to like really dig deep on a brand because this is like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of makeup. So I really, really appreciate that from the brand. And I appreciate y'all for being so clear and encouraging me to follow through on this brand as something I wanted to see reviewed. So again, you know, all the things that I talked about, please like give me your thoughts if you've tried these products, especially if you are a deeper skin toned person. Let me know if it was like disappointing to you or if that was something that filled a really necessary gap in your routine because I, you know, value your input and that's going to really help inform my future reviews. And also let me know like what your thoughts are regardless of your experience with Surratt's products, whether it's something I use today or not, because again, this is like a legacy brand. This is a brand that's been around for a while. They were in Sephora for a long time and then they weren't. And so I would love to like get insight of, you know, whatever I've missed if I, you know, haven't been on the Surratt train for very long. So I want to thank y'all for being here and for watching. And if you did enjoy this, please do give it a thumbs up. I will put a video right here that I think that you're going to enjoy after this one, and subscribe if you have not already. I love y'all so much and I will see you in the next one. Bye.